So welcome back to my channel. I would like to uh, update you about what's happening to me or what's the progress of my training. It's been a while that I haven't uploaded some training, some videos regarding my training status and fitness level. Well, 2 weeks back I got a flu, and I had 2 weeks setback, and it's a flu. It's not COVID, but the thing is that it's just kind of COVID kind of symptoms, and uh, it gives me a very bad bronchitis symptoms. I'm having hard time breathing. I have a very bad lungs full of phlegm. I had to sleep while sitting down in my couch. I cannot even lie down because the moment I lie down, I'm having a hard time breathing, and so I was not able to train. Like for 1 week, there's no training, and after a week, I started running after the end of the week, and I think I only did 16 kilometers or 15 kilometers during that time. But prior to that, I had a good build up. I had a good mileage, like at the end of March. Sorry, at the end of January or beginning of Feb. My mileage is somewhere around. Um, Last time I checked, it's 94 kilometers, and I've been doing a very good speed as well. I was able to develop some speed, but unfortunately, I got sick. It's not about I believe not it's not about over training, but the thing is that there are some changes in my work that I have to go out early in the morning, which was very hard for me because here in Canada it's very cold, and I thought that I was fine. I was wearing some a coat, winter coat, but the thing is that I still got chills, and I was not able to fight the chills, and I ended up having sore throat, and that's one of the symptoms that I always get if I'm going to have a very bad flu. I have sore throat, and I didn't take care about it, and so I end up having some flu. So I'm back in training again. I believe the mileage that I did today is somewhere around 65 kilometers, which is good. I'm still in the process of holding back and trying to uh, not to be fast and getting back with the real training load, because I'm a bit worried on how my body will react. And yeah, and I noticed that I can hold some uh, a good effort, but the thing is that it's more taxing for me, so that's why I try to hold on, and I'm not 100% following my training program. It all depends on how I feel, and yeah. And another thing that I had few weeks back is that I had some, I believe it's an ITB, and at the same time patella tendonitis problem, and yeah, I was wondering what's happening, and I'm maintaining a very good cadence when I run. I always make sure of that, but I noticed that I think it's also more of building up too fast or running too fast. Like my previous marathon, when I did build up, I was running somewhere around 5:30 to sub 5 for my easy long run, but right now I'm running 4:30, 4:25 on my easy long run, which is, I consider, is my easy pace, since my threshold is uh, 3 350 352, and yeah, but when I'm doing that, I'm still trying to make sure that I have a very good cadence, I have a very good form, but deep inside in myself, I know that there are things that I still can improve in my running form. Uh, I always check my running form if I'm in a treadmill in a gym and taking a video of myself, checking if how's my form, how's my stride, and but at the back of my mind, I know that there's something wrong. So before I proceed on the things that I notice, um, I just want to give you a background of myself. It's like I'm an avid fan of Polar, and I've been using Vantage V first version for quite some time now. I think it's 2019, 2019 or 2018 when I got this watch, and I really love this watch. I believe like after few months na na-release tong relo na to, nakakuha kagad ako, and the shop who's selling this gave me a very good discount. And I love this watch, and the watch is very accurate when it comes to heart rate monitor. If you're using the optical wristwatch and comparing it to the heart rate strap, so the only difference is like a 1 or 2 or 3 beat per minute, which is very good. And like for me, like my previous triathlon and previous training, I haven't using my heart rate monitor because I believe that using this is enough for me, because there's a very minimal difference of data that I can get comparing with my heart rate strap and my optical. Uh, but the thing is that the only thing that I don't like with uh, Polar is that it doesn't have more data when it comes to technique or dynamics running. By the way, this has a power meter, and it's very helpful to that's why if I'm going to if I'm gonna race, I'm gonna use use this watch. But during my training, I've been using Garmin right now, and the reason why I use Garmin is that because they have this data, what they call running dynamics. And the running dynamics, it's composed of several datas that focus on your running form, and that is the tools that for you to improve your running form by checking the numbers and by achieving those numbers that you have. uh, so for example, the running dynamics, they're checking your vertical ratio. Vertical ratio, it's a combination of the numbers that you have on your stride length and your vertical oscillation. Now, stride length means that your step from A to B. It's a good number also to measure, because you can see if you're overstriding or not. It also measures the cadence, although it measures cadence. It measures vertical oscillation. I would like to talk about vertical oscillations later on more, or how important it is for you to measure vertical oscillation. It also measures the ground contact and the balanced ground contact. Um, what I really like the most is the vertical oscillation. Now the question is that, what is vertical oscillation? Vertical oscillation is that um, this is a time that when both of your feet is above the ground. And vertical oscillation is a byproduct of running. It means that hindi mo siya may iwasan. It always be there. Whether you're running slow or you're running fast, you will always have your feet, both of your feet, above the ground. Okay? And what is oscillation? Oscillation is the movement from up and down. And if you're running, your main purpose is to move from A to B, or where you're standing, or where you started to stride, and moving forward. That is your main purpose. That's your main goal. Is most of your effort should be moving forward. But the thing is that vertical oscillation is always a byproduct of running, because there will always be a time that both of your feet is above the ground. Now, by measuring the vertical oscillation, you can see if your running form is efficient. Now, they said, and based on Garmin and based on other devices that measures vertical oscillation, the good number of vertical oscillation is that 5 would be a very low number of vertical oscillation. It means that you don't have any power when running. It's just like you're dragging your feet, and you don't have, like, you're not even above the ground. You're running very slow, and you're running on a very low effort than your potential. 10 would be a higher number. It means that if you are running with a vertical oscillation of more than 10, then it means that you have a very, you're putting a lot of effort moving upward instead of moving forward. Now, again, if you want to run faster, if you want to run efficiently, then most of your effort, or all of your effort, should be moving forward. And if there is an effort of moving upward, okay, and if you move upward, okay, then you go down. And by doing that, okay, it doesn't help you move forward, and that is considered as a waste of energy. Another thing is that the higher your feet above the ground, the more the gravity pulls you back, and the more the gravity pulls you back, then it's gonna be more stressful to your feet, to your muscles, and it can give you some problems in the long run. And that is what I noticed when I started using Garmin, and specifically when I bought this Run Dynamic pod. This is different from the foot pod that Garmin released like few years back. The one that the black thingy that you put on your shoes, that you can use that on treadmill or indoor tracking. Yeah, that is different. The comparison between these two is that the run pad, you can use it in it measures your speed in treadmill and in indoor, because in indoor you don't use GPS. It's more accurate in using the running pod than relying on your watch, because what's happening is that if you run indoor with your watch without a running pod, then your speed will base on the movement of your hand, and it's not accurate. So at least if you have a foot pod when running indoor, then the speed is based on your step from A to B, A to B, A to B. So mas accurate siya. But the problem is that foot pod only measure cadence and speed. It doesn't give you running dynamics. This one gives you running dynamics, and it measures your vertical oscillation, vertical ratio, stride length, what else? Ground contact, and balance ground contact. Now, you have the option to buy this, or you have the option to buy the HRM Pro. Okay, HRM Pro is different from the dual, yung itim na lumang Garmin heart rate. That's different. It doesn't measure running dynamics. But these two products, the running pod and the heart rate, measures running dynamic. The reason why I bought this is that because I I got this in marketplace in Facebook for only $50, and this is somewhere around $100 sa uh, Amazon. So I got a good deal. The second thing is that I don't need to have another heart rate because I have very good heart rate, and heart rate strap, and I'm using Polar H10. And Polar H10 is one of the most accurate heart rate based on the reports or the reviews from other bloggers and YouTubers. Okay, so I got this. Now, when I started using this, I tried to run my normal running form. And first thing I do is that I make sure that I have a very good cadence when running, especially on my race pace. And when I'm running fast, I always make sure that I have somewhere around 180 cadence. But when I notice that if I'm doing that 180 cadence, I still have a very high vertical oscillation, and my vertical oscillation is somewhere around 10. And 10 for me, and as per Garmin, it's not a good number. It's still color green, but then based on other studies regarding vertical oscillation, 5 is low, 10 is high. So I believe that I should be somewhere around 8 or 9. And if I'm running 10 and if my vertical oscillation somewhere around above 10, it means that my bounce is very high for me. And it means that first, it is a wasted effort. Second is that it's very stressful in my knees, in my muscles, and that would be one of the reasons why I might, or I got the injuries or the symptoms that I got, the ITB and the what I call this patella tendonitis, and also the other things that I feel when I'm running. So that's what I like, and that's what I notice. That's what I like when using Garmin compared with Polar. And right now, every time I run, whether I'm running slow pace, tempo pace, sub threshold pace, race pace, I always make sure that I check my vertical oscillation, and I always make sure that I will be somewhere around 8 or below 9. Okay, and that is my my target number, and I feel the difference, and I can feel the things that I need to improve when running. So I noticed that if when I running, if I don't bring my yeah, if I don't bring my knees higher, okay, then what's happening is that my vertical oscillation goes up. All right, I don't know what's the reason, or maybe I can explain that later in my videos, in other videos. But if I drag my feet, okay, and if I continue to have a 180 cadence, but if I'm not bringing up my knees and I'm just dragging my feet, I have a vertical oscillation of 10. And but then if I bring up my knees here, okay, and activate my core, and the same time when I bring up my knees up, then when I land my foot, okay, nagkakaroon ng movement ng konti, and that also helps me utilize my quads. That also helps me utilize my calves and my glutes, and that way I'm not stressing my knees so much. And that's one of the things that I was able to noticed, and I believe I was able to improve my running form. People say that I have a good running form, but for sure, if I'm going to compare myself to pros and other faster runners, they have a very good running form. But people that I know, they said that I have a good running form, but still I know that I still have some things that I can improve. And by using this, and by checking the numbers, and understanding the numbers, reading a lot of articles regarding vertical oscillation, running dynamics, running forms, it helps me understand how important to to focus on your effort moving forward and having a good number of I believe that technologies helps you understand what's your capabilities, and also helps you understand what are the things that you have to improve, because it also tells you what's your weakness. And yeah, so right now I'm so happy using this uh, running dynamics, and I really love this because it helps me check my athletes, kahit na for example hindi ko sila nakikita and I don't see them often, and I see that when I check their numbers and their Garmin Connect, and when they run, I always make sure that uh, I check their cadence and I check their vertical oscillation. So in that way, nagkakaroon ako ng idea na okay, this is how he ran right now. I have a person that I have an athlete right now. I'm coaching him, and I noticed that he has a very very high bounce, very high vertical oscillation. Okay, and he has a problem with his knees. And for me, in order for me to make sure that I can able to help him improve his running form, it's not just about giving him program. It's not just about giving him tasks. Okay, you do this, you run this slow, you run this pace, you run this in zone. But I make sure that he has target, and the target that he needs to do is that when I gave him an effort, okay, you're gonna run in zone 3, okay, he's gonna run in zone 3. But the question is that how he will run the zone 3, and that's very critical for me as a coach. And by having this running dynamic, I can tell that okay, yes, he did a zone 3 run, and he has a very good vertical oscillation. It means that he's doing a good form, and he's maintaining the things that he needs to maintain in order for him to avoid getting injured. And yeah, so I hope that good thing of checking vertical oscillations. I'm very thankful that I was able to be curious of understanding the vertical oscillation, because I know that this is one way for me to improve my running form, and at the same time this is one way for me to help others improve their running form, even though na hindi ko siya na nakikita, as long as they have the device to measure those numbers. Okay, so all right, if you have any questions, if you have any things that you wanted me to clarify, then you can just comment on the comments section below, and hopefully I have the answers. Yeah, and uh, that's it, and see you again next time.